Hi there, I'm Aki from Aki Gaming, and welcome to another episode on Fire Emblem Heroes Spotlight. In this episode, we will be looking at one of the newer heroes from Grand Hero Battle, Legion, the Masked Maniac. A masked berserker working for Aramea. He has the ability to clone himself and refers these copies as his brothers. His basic stats total is 157, and by equipping his best weapon, his total rating will be at 171. Legion has very high attack at 36 and followed by his speed at 35. He wields a weapon with his name on it, Legion's Axe. It has the ability of converting bonuses on foes into penalty through their next action after combat. And with the popularity of emblem-specific buff, this weapon is a good counter against those buffs. Legion has Repriser as his special. It grants bonus to damage dealt equal to 30% of damage suffered with a low trigger count of 2. Repriser synergizes well with his low defensive attributes and his passive A, which we will talk about right after this. Fury is the name of his passive in slot A, a highly sought after skill that grants him a +3 on attack, speed, defense, resistance, but in return, he receives 6 damage after every combat. Like I mentioned earlier, Fury works well with Repriser by indirectly giving damage boost because of the self-damaging effect. As for his passive B, he has Obstruct. It prevents foes from moving through adjacent spaces while this unit's HP is 50% or more. A useful skill to protect your weaker allies from getting hunt down by units with high mobility, especially flyers and cavalries. In terms of weaknesses, Legion's major flaws would be his low defensive stats, physically and magically. Even though his speed is high enough to prevent an enemy to make an follow-up attack, but his low resistance in magic will get him one-shot by raid mages, so it's best to keep him out of magic range. And that's the end for the introduction. Next, let's have a look at the recommended build for Legion. With his high base attack, I would highly suggest you to give him Brave Axe, a weapon with a might of 8 that grants the holder the ability to attack twice during initiation. However, there's a speed penalty of -5, but it's not a big deal with his high speed and the passive that we are about to give him. But before that, let's look at his assists. Reciprocal 8 is the preferred choice over Ardent Sacrifice because of his high HP. By taking away only 10 HP, it is still not enough to get his HP below 75% for him to get into the zone. Whereas for Reciprocal 8, you can use it to swap HP with an ally to instantly get into the zone, or use it to regain full HP so he could tank again. As an alternative, you could give him Reposition instead. For his special, I would recommend giving him Luna that resolve combat as if foes suffer a -50% on defense or resistance with a trigger count of 3. Other than Luna, you could give him Draconic Aura instead. Now, let's look at his passives. For slot A, it's best to give him Life and Death, a passive that grants him a +5 on attack and speed but -5 on defense and resistance in return. This skill not only would boost his already high attack stats even higher, it also compensates back the speed penalty of Brave Axe. As for the defensive penalties, since it's already so low, it won't make a big difference if it gets any lower. How about passive B? You could let him inherit Desperation, a skill that enables him to follow up an attack immediately if his HP is below 75%. Combined with his assist skill, it could easily put him in Desperation mode. And with his high speed, he could perform 4 hits continuously to all units that have 5 points lower speed than him. An alternative would be Drag Back or Hit and Run so he could move out of danger zone after a quick kill. As for slot C, it is recommended to give him Threaten Defense to further increase his damage output. And with this build, Legion gets to take down 110 heroes, draws 26, and lost to 10 without effect of Threaten Defense. With the defense penalty, he gets 128 wins, 11 draws, and 7 losses. Do take note the above result was based on 1 round of combat only. Final thoughts? In terms of offensive strength, Legion is inarguably the strongest ex-infantry in the game to date. Even though he wears a mask to cover his emotions, but it's not enough to cover his tremendous strength that will torment all enemies that stands in his way. So, what's your thought on Legion? Are you planning to promote him to 5-star? Let's discuss. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Aki Gaming for more interesting content. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.